So hello. I want to talk about acceptance and relieving ourselves of all the pressure we put on our shoulders. Now, this is coming from, of all things, hypnotherapy. I've decided to really kind of commit myself to learning a little bit more about this space. Originally speaking, I thought that was real, like, look into my eyes. We will program your beliefs or your patterns or your thoughts. And that might well be a version of it, but the area that I'm subscribing to and I'm learning is essentially how we can unburden ourselves from all the things we think we should be doing. And it is the allowing of our true essence shine. Because let's be honest, a lot of the time we think we need to be performing in a certain way, we think we need to be doing things, and we're all the time walking around with all this judgment and all this thought and all this distraction. And the practice in this work is essentially to relieve yourself of that and to unburden and to feel really, really light. My teacher gave a really interesting point. He said, Jamie, what is confidence? And I was like, well, it's strength and it's this, that's that, and all sorts of kind of definitions. And he said, no, Jamie, confidence is the absence of worrying about all that we think we should be doing. Makes sense, doesn't it? That actually, most of the time, we're the ones holding ourselves back. We're the ones complicating matters. And if we only took that judgment and that issue off our shoulders, well, we'd relieve our heads of so much thinking, so much thought, so much distraction, and we'd actually let ourselves loose and let ourselves go that little bit more. And it's not just about confidence. It is about so much. If you think about it, even in the wellness space, we're all the time wanting things to be a certain way. We set our goals, we set our ambitions. And in the more holistic space, we dip into manifestation, where we are literally trying to weave the world to suit us in a certain way. And this practice is more about just accepting things as they are. So no wishing, no wanting, no desires for how things could be, or no judgment in terms of how they should be, but instead acceptance of this is how things are. And the kind of the concept or the magic in it is that if you, like, for all that wishing, for all that wanting, for all that judging, there's so much energy tied up in that. And if you can relieve yourself of that and actually just accept things for how they are, you have so much capacity inside you to make the most of things as they are. Being very true and honest, if you're distracted, wishing and wanting things a certain way, you are not focusing on the now, and you are in no way capable of making the most of now. Because, you're too distracted, you're too out of sorts, you're too de-energized. So it has been a really, really interesting learning experience. And for me, when it comes to these videos, it's all about sharing into that. What I'm learning, what's helpful. And this process of essentially just accepting things for how they are, to stop resisting, is actually enormously powerful. I kind of have this image of a monk like sitting in meditation and really, just accepting the world as it is, and being really powerful in that, and being really powerful in the moments that come up and challenge you. And let's be honest, like, in challenging moments, you need your full capacity, you need your energy, you need your strength. And if your head's not with it, if you're like too upset by the way things are, or too, distracted by wishing things were differently, or trying to weave the universe in a different way, you're not going to be able to, you're not going to be your best self. You're not going to be able to make the most of them. And unfortunately speaking, your head is going to be sunk in disappointment and frustration and issue. When in actual fact, and I do feel the second part of this is actually a trust and a belief that ultimately speaking, the world is there to serve us. And the world is working in a magical way to serve us. And there's a kind of a faith and a knowing and a belief in that. And I think it really is a matter of mindset. If we sit for where we are right now and we reflect on the life that we've had, I think I can speak for myself and I can speak for so many others who would share that their most challenging times, when they zoom out of those moments, which are horrifically challenging to go through, and they fast forward a year or two, those moments are the times that have brought them the most wisdom, the most experience, the most growth. And so it's hard not to actually see how throughout challenges, ultimately speaking, the world is working magically to help support you and form you. And oftentimes there's a wisdom at play that we just can't really appreciate. And in those times of judgment, of things should have been differently, or I wish they were different, those thoughts, you could justify them in their instance. But if you zoomed out and fast forwarded on a year or two, if your wishes were to have been granted, you may have robbed yourself from a really fantastic learning experience, from a really amazing opportunity for growth, and something so much better down the line that you didn't appreciate or know was just there waiting for you. So we have this feeling that we're all knowing and we're so wise ourselves, when in actual fact, if you were to catalogue or diary your thoughts and look back on them, if you were actually granted your wishes, most of the time you'd probably be selling yourself short. And if you stopped resisting the world and its flow, no doubt actually it would be serving you well. So this feeling of acceptance, this unburdening of our wants, our desires, our wishes to change the world, and our taking back of our energy and our relaxing into a sense of knowing, belief and faith that the world is there to serve us, a taking back of our energy to make the most of now in acceptance. Might all sound a little bit philosophical, but it's pretty damn impacting. And so this is my practice at the moment. Despite whatever challenges are going on, rather than wishing things are differently, accepting them and working with them. Rather than getting caught up in, why is this happening to me? Or, oh, I'm so unfortunate. It's actually looking for the magic in it and the wonder and the curiosity of, in a year's time, how am I going to reflect back on this and recognize all that's served me, all that's come to me as a result of this? And so I share this video as obviously a kind of a learning and a level of growth that I believe I'm going through. I hope I'm not going a bit crazy. But for anybody that's watching on, for anybody that's going through challenging circumstances, for anyone who feels that the world is perhaps getting on top of them, it is to encourage you to zoom out. It is to encourage you to perhaps see things from a different perspective. And a thought or a belief that in actual fact, this time has come to serve you, and a belief that it will serve you so well in time. And ultimately speaking, it will bring you further and beyond what you believe is possible for you. That feels really good to me. That feels like it serves a hell of a lot more than wishing in the present that things were differently. And what I really feel from this belief is that I'm like, wow, it's like I'm relieving a whole load of wasted energy. And in my videos, I talk about how we are so much more powerful than we know and than we can imagine. And a big part of realizing this power is cutting out the wastage in our lives. And in this video, I really feel like I've talked to a huge amount of wastage. I feel like personally I've identified an enormous amount of wastage. And I believe that if we can take back this energy for ourselves, it allows us to step into our potential all the more. And that's why I share this with you. I wish that for you. And when I feel into myself, it brings me so much bloody excitement. So sit with this, take a little bit of time, and please do share me with your feedback. If you have anything to add, I welcome that. I would really like to hear it. And have a little bit of faith. Who knows? Who knows what might come with this practice in a couple of weeks or a couple of months' time. Obviously a little bit hard when you're being drowned out by circumstances in the moment, but have faith. Try this practice and do reconnect with me in a couple of weeks' time and let me know how you got on, either in the comments below or I'm most active on Instagram. So I really welcome your feedback, your notes, your thoughts, your suggestions and your reflections there. So I'll say bye for now and I look forward to reconnecting with you again soon. Thank you.